this is probably not the review you were expecting to see on my channel, at least not right away. Uh, so I went out and saw the biopic Tolkien, a movie about the real life early beginnings of J.R.R. Tolkien, author of The Hobbit and, of course, Lord of the Rings. And I do have a book of one of the Lord of the Rings books, but it's one of those copies that came out after the film was released. So that's why Elijah Wood's on there. And some other actors on the back, as you can see. But anyway, yeah, this biopic's here. And I've come across a lot of reviews that are being pretty harsh towards this biopic, which is kind of surprising, but I guess some biopics do get that, so but that didn't really sway my mind of like how my mindset was going in, just trying to see what they have in this film and how accurate it is and where they decide to put their focus on and how well they made it. But of course, before we actually get into the actual film itself, it's become public knowledge at this point that the Tolkien as estate officially does not support this biopic. Now, of course, the vast majority of biopics or movies based on real people don't really get approval from the estates. Like, I think in the words of the director of Tolkien, they don't get the approval or support 9 out of 10 films that are biopics or talking about real people. So that really isn't that surprising. And to be honest, the Tolkien essay has never really been that warm to any film adaptation of Tolkien or his work. So it's really not that surprising. And from what I heard, the director of the Tolkien biopic, when asked about this, he said that this disapproval didn't really come from a hostile place or standpoint. And it turns out that one of Tolkien's great grandsons has a background appearance as one of the soldiers during one of the World War I scenes. So not so the family can't be entirely against this film, and the director does hope he can actually show them this film and discuss it, and explain why some liberties had to be taken in certain parts of the film. So, while yes, the essay doesn't officially support this biopic, it's not really as dramatic as some people are probably making out to be. Now, having said that, let's actually talk about the film. Deals with starts with him as a young child in Africa, the death of his mother, living in England as an orphan, growing up in school, coming across his friends that became their own little fellowship, going off to Oxford and then the war, and became a professor. And the movie ends with him writing that famous line that starts off the first page of the Hobbit book. Now, in this film, the story is well structured, it's fluid and coherent. All the people in this film put in a solid performances, especially for Tolkien and his wife Edith. There's a good amount of emotion in here, not melodramatic, but the right amount of emotion from everybody that plays important roles in this film. And there are some pretty neat visuals, some of them even kind of cool, because of course some of those visuals, of course, tease the beginning of Tolkien's creation of the Lord of the Rings world. And it's a nice film. It's fine. It's decent enough. It's actually kind of a nice film. The main fault that I will say that this movie suffers from is that it tries to be too faithful to the standard biopic formula. Now, I get why they did this because it's J.R.R. Tolkien. He's a pretty famous, well-known guy. You want to be respectful of him and his life. And I get that. Although, again, I probably would have liked to see some sort of deviation that kind of makes his film stand out a little bit more. Like, try to include some more creative imagery or creative storytelling from a writing perspective. I just a little something to help elevate this film beyond a nice film. And what else can I say? It's a nice film. Oh, in terms of accuracies, for the most part, from what I personally know about J.R.R. Tolkien, and from the little research I did looking up him before I went into this film, from what I can tell, most of it's pretty accurate. There are some parts of Tolkien's life that I wish this film either included or dug into a little bit more, but that's to be expected from any biopic. So really the main fault of this film is that it's trying to be too faithful to the typical formula for a biopic. And honestly, I think most of these reviews are being a little harsher than they probably should. It's a fine, nice film. If you have a little bit of interest in watching this and you really don't know that much about J.R.R. Tolkien, or you do know a lot about him, this will probably just still be a nice film just to check out. You want to see it in theaters? Sure, but if you're really hesitant about seeing this, you're probably going to want to wait until you can like rent it or something. But anyways, I had a nice time watching this. Not too great, but not bad. Nice time. I guess that's the best way to summarize this film. Well, that's all I have for right now. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys next time.